Betty, I want to make a correction. I made a mistake earlier. She's the executive director for Center for Constitutional Governance. And she's been here, advocating for constitutionalism. She's been vocal. And she's been now arrested, and that is the charge. She's accused of unlawfully obtaining data, personal data. You talk about electoral data. The data is supposed to be in the hands of the Electoral Commission. She obtained it, and she didn't stop at only obtaining it, but also disseminated it, which becomes a case that now she has to answer. A serious one that has made her be remanded until 21st January. Your perception of this, is this witch hunt? Because lately, I've seen Sarah's been vocal. I didn't give you the background, our dear viewers, but lately, Sarah has not been only vocal on constitutional matters, but I saw, like in the videos I saw, some of the latest, shows where she has appeared. She actually lambasted the CDF, questioned his, competence of, assuming the highest office in the military, the UPDF. She's been, attacking the status quo. Is this witch hunt, or indeed it is? This case does really stand, and so she has to answer. Ambassador.
Thank you so much. My name is Global Peace Ambassador Kambula Milton, and currently we are electoral observers across the country. And I want to thank Electoral Commission for having entrusted us. Of course, with from NASA, I saw your letter. You are doing a great job. And also the European Union and other partners. I want to also thank the Institute of Multi-Party Democracy. They are also supporting the civil society space. But I also want to thank the government of Uganda for having really allowed this electoral process to go on. There are many other governments, as you know, because of insecurity and all those kind of things, wars. Sincerely speaking, there is where you say thank you where it is necessary. The UPDF, thank you for protecting our borders. The President of Uganda, of course, it's your constitutional mandate and powers to organize every 5 years an electoral process to make sure that you are in State House with people's approval. My sister, Sarah Virete, is a sister. I call her a sister. We are in the civil society space together, and it's unfortunate that this country, when it comes to intellectual discourse, now it's around 20 years when the space is kind of shrinking, closing down, where your children who have gone to school to study law, who have gone to study to Makerere University, study political science, and all these other courses, where after graduation, the space for them to practice and share their talents and their knowledge is kind of ridiculous that we cannot share our civic space openly. Yet, when President Museveni was invited for the Nairobi peace talks, when he was fighting Obote,
1985.
In that meeting in Nairobi, as a student of political science, he actually opened his profile. He said, I am called Kaguta Yoweri Museveni, an intellectual from Uganda. And I disagree with Obote on intellectual research and academic point of view. He's not like a hooligan who came from some sort of space. No, he had reasons. He said there is space, the democratic space is not there. Human rights are being abused. They are kind of things that he was arrested with his son. You remember that embarrassment he suffered over on Jinja Road, and he was embarrassed by those soldiers. Yet he was on the Kachiko of the. He was the third, I think, on that commission.
Was the second.
The second military. Yes.
Vice chairperson.
Vice chair. Powerful. He was like a vice president of a nation. You know, Ugandans don't know this history. So they embarrassed him. He said no. my own government I'm serving cannot be the one humiliating the people, violating its own constitution. So I am saying to this government that please release Sarah Bireti. It is her constitutional right to disagree with the government. It is our right. That's why they went to the bush. He is a historical. For Nasa, his whole family lost people to make sure that we have TVs like, this, where we should come and share our discontent rather than going to the bush or terrorism. So I am saying that the clumsy kind of case you're putting on this woman, on this young lady rather, is unfortunate because you are saying he has secrets he has shared with the public. Electoral Commission is not internal security organization. Electoral Commission is not external security organization. The information that is supposed to be kind of at Electoral Commission is public information. Public information in the fact that their role as per the Electoral Commission Act, their act that manages them, is that their work is to organize elections, is to make sure they count the votes and announce the votes. Now, where does it become confidential? First is the information Sarah Bireti is sharing is public because it is already on public display. It's on display. The register is there. Everyone, even I can go to Google and access it. What are you talking about? The problem is to give a microphone to an idiot. When you give a microphone and power to an idiot, he would want to make sure those bright young stars do not speak because you create threat. That's why I love the other NRM, the first one. Because as they came from the bush, they were from NASA. These people were bright. They liked debate. Civic discourse was strong.
Speaking of that, later I saw the Minister for Internal Affairs,
yes, please.
General Kendo Tafiri.
Yes, please.
Distancing himself from the UPDF, saying, I'm not part of UP, I'm part of Fronasa.
He still knows where he came from. Because these people lost their balls.
Even President Museveni doesn't want to admit, but every time I see him speak, when he speaks of Fronasa,
yes,
he speaks of them in high esteem.
Exactly.
Than he does.
Exactly. You see, by then, he's here, my elder is here. By then, you would say the government is corrupt. They give you space. They actually want you to talk. Then, because they're also good in speaking, in debate, then when you give them the opportunity, then he kind of responds to you with numbers. Today, it's not numbers, it's tear gas, kicking you, MOK coming and saying, this is like we are in a certain country.
But the question we all ask,
yes,
Ambassador.
Yes, please.
They're still under the same commandship. Still the same commander.
What
has changed about it? The one was commanding what you're admiring, you are speaking of in high esteem.
Yes, please.
He's the same commander of the same leader of the status quo.
Yes.
What changed?
What changed were the structures, the system, political system. That's why I loved when they said NRM, NRA system. It had the military wing, it had the political wing. People like us would be actually very useful in this country. Bireti is supposed to be paid heavily in this country if we are in that country of NRM, those days. Because her talent is exposing the rots of the regime, which Museveni does not want. Museveni of that time, forget the Museveni of today. Museveni of today is being lied left, right, center. But the Museveni, because today
it's the advancement.
He's not allowed to ask. You know that Museveni is not allowed to ask today. Because these young stars, they are thinking for him. But the original Museveni, when he has a microphone, that's why sometimes he throws away their speeches, which are written. And you have seen constantly, he forgets that he's in a campaign. He talks the truth. He says, okay, the bad road is okay. We are going to fix them. The spirit is still there, but then, because the system was taken over by some aliens, they are called, in political science, they are called political aliens. People who don't have the political culture that produced the whole gain they are talking about. So holding this gain is there for long is not easy, because you must have what we call the leadership culture, the civic spirit guiding you that you can tolerate. These guys tolerated all the nonsense in this country. Those days you remember. But today, I'm not even sure if I will reach home. These youngsters, no, these guys were not like that. They are removing gas. They are removing our board. They are canning gas. The safe houses. These guys didn't talk about safe houses. In their time, you were not, safe house was a sacred thing. You don't know that even people are tortured. It's because they know the public doesn't want that. What is happening today? Virete has been arrested, but they even don't know why they are arresting her. Because the discourse she was giving was that they cannot match her level of competence. They are weak. They are weak communicators. They don't know dialogue. They don't know how to cause consensus. Do you understand? Yeah. Consensus, like the last time, DP making consensus with in 1960 when these two parties said, okay, I think we can have an alliance and compete with UPC. You remember those days? Yes. This is why Museveni went to the bush and the Baganda supported him. Why? Because people like Virete were there. And the Ugandans led a military guerrilla war struggle 5 years with empty stomachs. And they say, we will die with Museveni. That was the rate of that time. Now, after 40 years, they are getting exhausted because keeping the elders like this one is like a threat. Do you know that these ones cannot survive in the new NRM now? They are enemies because for them they are pure. They will not allow you to go and kill someone who is not a threat to their military, to the security defense system of the country. Just words? No, let us go to UBC and talk. Let us come to BTM and talk. Let us have a meeting confidential. The Ruhakana Rugundas. Yes. You remember? Actually, because of this pressure of allowing wrong people to be given more ranks. You know, when you give power to a wrong person, you are serving him with fear. But these guys, you would say, oh, why? And he would visit even if you're on the opposition. But today, I want the Electoral Commission to be challenged. Please fight hard to release Virete. Because for sure, those of them who released the information, they would actually be the one to be arrested. The question is, what information did you release? That's what is going to be in the court. Which powers did you have to release that information? Do you understand how it goes? So these policemen who just pick a case and say, oh, I think then you throw it. At the end of the day, President Museveni does not want this shame at this particular time. He's going to ask them, why are you exposing me at this time? Because my hands have been clean. He will tell them, my UPDS is keeping peace of the country. The police, of course, he will blame police somehow. Because police is right now, many of those officers turn the lawful orders upside down. Okay. Because the boss is maybe a minister. Because the younger man gets 30,000 per day from the minister. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. And the minister is in the campaigns. So there is a police act, there is IGP, but down there, there is a small god
at
there.
the end of the day,
yes, please.
It's a reputation.
Which
gets tainted.
Exactly.
That's why all the evils that were done during the regime of President Amin, President Obote, we all blame them on those presidents.
Exactly.
So this is a question I've been always asking Mr. Vian here. Can I have it? Doesn't the president care about his reputation? Because all these things are happening during his regime. Historians will write that during President Museveni...
We are writing, we are already writing.
Exactly. During Museveni's regime, this was happening. So, and he's not coming out to condemn Kyagulanyi is fearing these crowds. Is President Museveni kind of envious? Or is telling the truth that the man could actually be fearing these audiences? Is this practically possible?
First and foremost, I want to request the president to release Kizza Besigye, retired colonel. He was his political commissar by then. And I don't know whether all of them are in jail. I don't know. This country doesn't have eyes. The president makes statements and you just sympathize with him. And as a political scientist, but of course as a global ambassador, it's good I was deployed at home where I can freely talk. But this is not the Museveni I know. He is communicating that, please listen to me. Where are my people who are supposed to help me? These people who were with him, they also abandoned him. He himself made mistakes and fired some of them, others in jails. These statements have started coming now. But the Museveni who used to have political commissars, Kizza Besigye, Chiyonga, you remember those days. These things, it's an embarrassment. A president to say, Banzi Bakarubabo Kubira Waliku, Nasarodi, let me say it in Uganda, let me say it in Rukonga. Museveni now I'm now in the Rwenzori mountain.
Yes.
This is a total embarrassment. Do you understand? So one is Mr. President. Of course, you usually say my Mkonjo man. And every time we
That's
meet,
how he refers to you.
yeah, and every time we meet with him, we are dialoguing like here. He has never given me any cash, but the opportunities he gives me every year, we dialogue and I give him fresh minds. And
Do
so,
you share such things?
yes,
Like the one you've just shared to you?
yes, we share.
Really?
And he was, this May meeting we had with him, he had to tell
Or you are
him.
intimidated, kind of.
No,
thing.
he's never been intimidated. You can't intimidate the president. What do I have?
No, I mean, him. Doesn't he intimidate you? Because
No.
I hear that even these people who speak ill of him, but in his presence, actually they bow. His presence alone.
Museveni is not God. I am a young, because they are all going. Who's going to replace them? Me, when I look at them, I tell them their mistakes. And even where they are right, I tell them, me, I am different. So the thing is that I've had an opportunity to meet more than 28 heads of state in the whole world. More than 40 former heads of state. I take tea with them. So you want Museveni to scare me? When I can go to the UN, I address America and even President Biden. Last year I did that. So what I'm talking about here on this television is that we want to be fair to Ugandans. If a head of state says, my opponent went to Nasa Road and printed Rururu, it means you have loopholes. First of all, you are supposed to fire and kind of retool the whole electoral commission. Because you are indicating to us even the results were not transparent. Then we first have to talk about the report of the 2021 elections. That's what it means. But because you people, you have jump-started a car called Uganda in the 21st century with a rotten, weak constitution imported from UK. Yet other countries in the global south are actually building new constitutions that speak to their mind, that speaks to their culture. Omukulu bwagamba owanyi mwakitegedde nti Muganda wa muono nakizudde si yenze taata we oyo mwana bakyakola kyawe kyekitegeeza. That's what Museveni said. So, Mr. President, I request that you recruit some of us to be political commissars in this government. Also, political parties need to have scientists, scholars, because they are opposing Museveni not based on research. That's why he beats them hard down. They bring their anger. Museveni, but man, the local people, the local Ugandans are different from people in Kampala. They will say, and then you know Muzeyi is very good. He says, Vazukuru. The ones in the village, the younger people say, Muzeyi, according to culture, you cannot abuse a mukade. So Muzeyi may take us for another 100 years. Because the people who are actually opposing him, they are simply giving him space not to think.
There
to
is
the
something
extent...
you hinted on, you didn't expound it. When the president comes and tells us that he was cheated, this is actually casting, incompetence, doubt on the organizing body, which is the Electoral Commission.
You are incompetent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yet, he's actually the appointing authority.
Exactly.
Why doesn't he,
Yes.
change the Electoral Commission, for example, by firing the Electoral Commission?
Exactly. And right now, look at the combination of ignorance, incompetence of that saying exposed secrets of Electoral Commission. Is Electoral Commission in the law having capacity to keep secrets of nations or Uganda? No. It is a public institution whose information is public. So the thing is, that incompetence is consistent.
I think it's not right for your biodata or my biodata to be accessed by everybody.
Can I tell you something? They get biodata because it is not NITA. They also go, just like you go to national information, whatever, that, like the way you go and beg for your roster ID. They also went there and said, Bunang, Mutuwe database, Yabana Uganda. They also moved around. It's a public information. Let me ask you, to wanting to know how many people vote in my village, is it a secret? It's public information. And the Constitution, in their article, in their act, they say you are entrusted with public information.
And after all, Sarah Bireti is actually, she heads 2 election observer agencies.
Yes.
So she has what the right.
That is trust that they have all along been working with her. And giving her accreditation like the one I have means you have gone through internal security organization analysis and assessment. Because to give you that certificate, which I have, is that you're credible enough. You have capacity to give thorough, transparent, and truthful information. So they just want to divert us. They want to take Birete to say, Munange, muchireke, chikazi chonacho chiogana nyo. She will come after elections. They would actually say maybe she stole maybe some chicken of a neighbor. At least that would do here. But to say, if it was ISO, if they were passing through, say, let us use ISO to arrest her, that there is security information, there we would hear some of us. Yes. Now, a neighbor whose chicken has gotten lost, but we have found even the feathers in the sitting room of that neighbor. That is evidence that Now, let me conclude with the question you have asked. Is that Mr. President Museveni, this country, during this particular time, 15 days to go, the country is in your hands. Now, anything can happen. We started well, and I give a credit to President Museveni. The first 4 weeks, the elections were going on well. Mr. President, you did good. And did you know what? People had space, but they did not know what to speak. I was evaluating.
His opponents?
When the first 3 weeks of these elections, his opponents were having space, peaceful.
It was after things like Uganda police condemning the raising of the flag.
In fact, you are talking about it. So it was.
Now that I've got a lot to say.
Now I have understood.
The debate has been on the flag. Now.
No, I'm telling you, they are diverting. They want to cause. We are talking about roads. We have a deficit of more than, because we have 6,000 kilometers covered in the whole country. We have more than 100,000 plus kilometers as a deficit. Roads are depleted. The president of Uganda in his campaign, he's actually saying, I acknowledge the problem. Bob Wine actually he talk about that. We have drinking water, 7 million Ugandans still poop in bushes. Can you imagine? Bushes, 7 million in your country. Now, what does that mean? Now, you still have a problem of unemployment due to an incompetent education system that is triggering poverty, that is producing a conflict. But when that's your work now, to hype it and put it in the face of Museveni, not to go to these small, some of those small things. I think the opposition need to be like the way we are discussing here, and so that Museveni feels that, I think, talking about Zanzibar Karuru, if we had the right opponents, I don't call them opponents, people, leaders who are also pushing him on the world, on the serious matters like my elder is talking about here, to parliamentarians, I think he would not divert us to now tell us in the Zanzibar Karuru, President Museveni, you are not in control of elections. Exactly. And it means now we are valid to tell him Electoral Commission need to be independent. From immediately we produce our report, we are going to recommend that. Electoral Commission in Uganda need to be independent so that it has...
It's already independent.
No.
It is the independent Electoral Commission.
No. Who elects the chair?
That's what you wanted.
And so, whereas political parties are there, I expect that President Museveni, after 40 years, he has really stabilized the country.
How best
Now
do you
we are
answer
ready. We are ready to have independent judiciary, independent electoral commission, independent parliament, those things, media, even civil society.
What's the best criteria you're proposing
I am
through which we should have an electoral communication chairperson?
Of course, UPM had these wonderful ideas. 1980, they had the framework. The Musée is here. They had the 10-point programs. It is there. It is there. And what does it read?
Specifically, I was looking at the electoral
Political parties are the ones supposed to elect the electoral commission chair and those are the commissioners. In my view, in the 21st century, the president cannot be the referee, the player, the linesman, the spectator. We are in elections. He's the one, again, still in charge of the safety of his opponents. My brother, this country having thinkers. You are the one, they even call you, actually, I believe, Bobby calls him. Why? Because that is the one still in charge. So that's why when MK was trying to push that he wants to run for presidency, I am the one person who also among many that opposed him. That you are still a military serving officer. Please remain in the barracks.
What if he retired? Would you?
No, that is okay. Let him come and we compete with him in the civil space. That would be healthy. But it is healthy that he remained there. But we are also lucky that whereas other people think we cannot have ballast. No, we are even okay. Let him be in UPDF, leading UPDF. Now let him show us that he can lead a UPDF that is not just going to defend a father. This is not just father-son. We want to see how these elections are going to be peaceful to determine if he will be a competent future president of the country.
Okay.
So these are critical challenges as international diplomats to be able to see Bush Jr. and Bush Sr. How did they respond on how to deliver a United States foreign policy on North Korea, on Iran, on Israel-Palestinian conflict? Do you understand what I'm talking about? How did they respond to China's economic growth, competitiveness, and security? So these matters need great brains, and I don't think we have opportunity because whoever wants to come with this knowledge, they just say, man,
that's what they do.
We are Ugandans. The flag, let me end with the flag.
Okay.
It is the stupid people because the flag represents my umbilical cord. My umbilical cord is connected to the flag. Sure. It identifies with who we are. Now, whoever is stupid, actually, I just see police. Some of these people come to TV and they embarrass us who are not. They just embarrass our teachers, our schools. When they went to which school and you hear about Makerere. I think they are not Makerere University. I think it's Nasa Road. I'm telling you. Man, how do you say loving a flag is bad?
I also thought this is stupid.
Man,
too.
That is stupidity. That shows you, Mr. President, you have illiterate, stupid, and these people after you are dead, actually after the death of the president. It means they will not talk about the president. They will not talk about Museveni. These are the same guys who root to him every day. They just want the money. Now, this is how they determine a country. We are on a dialogue. You see people's patriotism on three things. One, the love towards the flag. The love toward their national competitions like soccer. How do they support Uganda Cranes, She-Corps, athletics when they are all over? People, that time becomes a national holiday. Do you understand? Yeah. Here, when Uganda Cranes is playing, people are on money you. Others are aware. Man, I am telling you, when a national holiday like Heroes Day, usually organized, people don't know even they are heroes in this country. People in the Colorado, they say, oh, you can't remember you said these guys suffered, they died. Did they fight for us? Stupid. They don't care. So Ugandans, be careful. You people are arresting people that they love the flag. Actually, they are supposed to be paid. In the United States, you block people for loving their flag, they will say you're a terrorist. So I want to end with a word of caution that those of you who are leaders, who call themselves leaders, do not be an idiot and you have been entrusted with a microphone and an office. Hand that office over to someone who's capable to use that office. Transformation.
Very true. Mr. Vian, on President Museveni's Use these 5 minutes.
My elder has really touched a very important person.
Yes.
Uh,
12 days, the general elections.
and I'm drawing.
We either sink ourselves or we.
I am taking back these leaders where they came from. These were very poor people, very weak people. But somebody nurtured them. Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. Countries like Mozambique, leaders there sacrificed to see that Uganda can have better leaders. And when they came in 1980s, they went to the bush. They said we must have a better country where elections are held peacefully. And the people must have power, which is now people power. I think now in others say power people. It is just there. These are inspirations.
Power belongs to the people. That's what the Constitution also says.
Museveni used to kneel down, and his prayer was, one day, God, make this country a peaceful place where people can walk from point X peacefully and they can elect leaders of their choice. The mystification of the God. It has happened. I thank the UPDF. Yes, they have, but the UPDF, our soldiers don't rape women. We have to salute them. We thank you. The police is also there. They get a budget, only that there are some issues, infrastructure, but then, using those inspirations, I wish I can meet Mzee maybe like tomorrow. I would just tell him, I want you to think like those days when he used to pray to God, that please, those days when they would eat a chicken, 100 people. You know, they used to eat even the cloth of a cow. Like the whole barracks, cut. They're very poor people. Just give us 1 day to survive. You know, when a poor man can pray to God, it is real prayer. Now, bali muchintu, bali mubintu, big cash. The power, they are guarded. One command is protected by like 1 battalion. Poor road, the roads are like Panya roads, but but to go and get out. But we gave them, God has given them opportunity. Yeah. Now, between now and 15th, you have asked me, yes, what is my message? Is that you, these younger people, you have given power. I think the Speaker of Parliament and the Deputy. Look at Among and the Right Honorable Tayewa. I think they are the most blessed children. Me, I will call them children because these people suffered. Their families. Look at how God extends a blessing. He transfers it, whether you like it or not. He transfers it. And if you don't prepare, he helps you. He may actually choose the wrong person so that he comes and beats you to make sure. You know, God punishes. You know that? Yeah. When you play around his blessings, we can get even Idi Amin tomorrow to beat us so that we wake up. Now, when we are still having this blessing in our hands, let us say, Museveni, 40 years. Why should you now think you still have opposition in Uganda? You torment them like enemies. 40 years? And these are the people taking care of us, taking care of people in power. They pay tax. They have maintained peace and security. They have not formed a rebel group. And then the way you see them during election, you look at them as if they are children of Satan. I am saying
flags to him look like guns.
Can you imagine a flag? I am saying, repent. You guys repent. Those of you in the NRM, know that you are on the foundation of people whose blood was sprinkled and died. Okay. And so between now and 15th, NRM, because you are the one with power, control your power. Have you seen the Bakanyama? This Bakanyama. Do you know that they don't just beat slappers on the street? Because he already has the power. He actually said, these people handed over this power. Yeah. They misuse the God. They misuse their positions. They are arrogant. They are not patient with us. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. So please, the insecurity will be caused by those with the power. Okay. Not us who don't even have a stone in the pocket. We are not even sure whether we'll have the next meal. So control your power. If you lose power, please peacefully hand over that office to the next leader. After all, they have given you 40 years. Some of you have been there for 20 years. Some of them have been there 10 years. It is enough to hand over the office to the next one. Actually, if I was the president, I wouldn't allow anyone to steal from my party called NRM, to steal a Karuru, because I would use this opportunity to check myself so that my legacy can live beyond me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let the authentic leaders go to parliament so that they can now transform and reform the bad laws that kept us in power, because we no longer need that power in a bad way. Now we need it in a good way, so that when we die after 50 years or 100 years, those children can protect the legacy based on the truth, not being bribed. So I want to, but I think the last one is for also the opposition. Please do not abuse the opportunity you have. Uganda didn't have the opposition also, we should remember. Okay. Now that you have the opposition, you have a lead of opposition, you know everywhere. This space, use it well to actually educate Ugandans. Ugandans are still in darkness, they don't know the qualities of a good leader. So demonstrate qualities of a good leader so that they leave the other group and then they vote you. But together we can make a one nation united.
Well said, thank you so much.
One word.
In a second.
Nyerere